Now you might know that about a week ago I had on a bloke, Professor Jeffrey Schaler, who spent his life debunking psychiatry and the whole idea of mental illness. At the base of that argument is mental is mind. It isn't the brain. You can't have a disease of the mind. Go and watch that conversation me and him had on my channel if you want to see us talking about that for a couple of hours. But I've also talked about Tourette's in the past, and I'm very dubious as to actually what Tourette's is. I mean, I've seen it called a disease, I've seen it called a syndrome. You know, these are spurious words that kind of keep psychiatry essentially off the hook, because what I'd suggest it was behavioural. These people are making choices. Now, that might not come across so nice, but I'm going to show you a little clip here. This is from the beginning of this video, and she's uploaded this. And we always have to think about, in these situations, key bono, who benefits? Why does someone with Tourette's upload a video called Baking with Tourette's and My Family? She's going to be dealing with eggs and flour. And this is, what you can see there is the start of the video. She's smiling, the family are all smiling. What kind of illness is this? What is this? Oh, I've got this illness where everyone's happy, everyone's having a good laugh. I feel like I'll make a video of us all having a laugh. Check it out.
Ooh, who's that bitch? Fuck off, shorty.
I mean, really? They're just laughing. This is her illness, this is her syndrome, this is this terrible affliction she has to live with, where she is the centre of attention, where she's getting to make people laugh. She's putting on a performance.
Hi guys, I've got Tourette's, bitch, and I'm here with my two aunties and my mum, and we're making pavlova. Ugly! This is my nana. Hi! She's ugly.
I mean, you know, I question this. I don't question that it's real or unreal. That's because it's happening. I question what's causing it. Is this an illness? Is this a disease? Is there something in her body that they can change? I bet they can medicate her. Oh, I bet they can give her tablets. I bet they can sell her tablets. Yeah.
Okay, so I need to get 3 egg whites. Chicken! Fuck off, it's not your video.
There you go, amazing point. Fuck off, it's not your video. And there's a bit later in this where the nan says something and she says, I do the jokes. Right, so we've seen that one, I've done that one before, but what we're going to have a look at now is a documentary I haven't seen. My subscriber, Lindsay, bless you Lindsay, has sent me a new Channel 4 documentary about Tourette's. So I'll just sort all that out and I'll see you in about, well, now. Well, so far I've managed to get a bit of Kate Bush action. Wow, 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 unbelievable. So, I have been all around the houses. It turns out that certain streaming services like Disney and Netflix sorted out so that you can't screen grab their stuff, because if you're going to screen grab a whole series or a movie, then you've got a copy of it and you can share it. And weirdly, Channel 4 do it as well, but apparently if you get Firefox, which I did, oh, loads of hassle. Now I've got to get my headphones back in. I wonder if that'll mean it doesn't work or something. Let's see, that should be sorted. Right, we should be good to go. Yeah, Britain's Tourette's mystery.
Of nowhere.
Be nice if we had it from the beginning. Right, here we go.
I'm a gorilla. In the last 18 months, there's been an explosion of tics suddenly appearing amongst young people.
In the last 18 months, an explosion of another mental illness. Really?
Yeah. Oh, bro. Oh, bro, you're a twat.
But why has it happened now?
Pedo.
And why are they all girls? I thought boys and girls were the same. Or maybe it's because they've been stripped of their natural femininity and don't know what their fucking role in life is anymore. Just a guess.
Those have speedos.
And why is it affecting so many young people?
My mum sucks dick. Only on Thursdays.
I'm Scarlett Moffat.
Miss Piggy, oink oink.
Who the fuck is Miss Piggy? And if we just... not Miss Piggy, who the fuck is Scarlett Moffat? And if we just take that back a bit, I mean, this isn't ideal. They all seem to be laughing. They all seem to be smiling. Look.
And why is it affecting so many young people?
My mum sucks dick. Only on Thursdays.
I'm Scarlett Moffat.
Miss Piggy, oink oink.
And
I mean, the pair of them are laughing. This is a mental health crisis, is it? What, that makes people laugh? That's not a mental health crisis, that's comedy.
Going on an investigation in search of answers.
You can see the ones that are faking it because they have hoods over their faces.
To speak to
There you go. Good to know we've got a professional on the case. Oh, you can tell the ones that are faking it because they've got hoods over. There's no faking it. It's just behavioural. And whether you're... What is faking it in this situation? And now monsoon. The Lord God is really working against me today. Sorry about that noise. Well, continue. We've come this far, people.
the families dealing with a mental health crisis.
She was jumping, twirling, clapping.
Mum, you're a lesbian. Brilliant.
And to delve deep into my own past.
As soon as that school bell went, it was as if my body wasn't my own.
To try and find out if this has been magnified by COVID and lockdown.
I haven't got a clue, but they just...
This is just... I'm not saying it hasn't, but what has been magnified by COVID and lockdown? People needing attention.
seem to be all coming out the woodwork now.
People needing to be noticed. People needing to be affirmed.
If it's now become contagious,
I take something you can catch. I'm panicking.
No, because it's not a disease. That's absolutely ridiculous. But you're continuing to show you've got the credentials for this show, and ironically, she has, because you don't need to be a doctor. This isn't a disease. This isn't. She's perfect for the job. She's just going to say people are making silly noises, and we're all having a laugh about it until they put them on drugs.
And thinking, am I going to get ticked?
and if social media is part of the problem.
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Do you need us to call 999? Yeah. It's been really hard. I've just got a newfound respect for Louis Theroux. I always thought, like, when you go on a ferry and stuff, it's like you're going on holidays, isn't it? So I brought SPF. I don't think I'm going to need it. Look at us, living the dream.
No, look at you filling time. Because there's not a lot to say about this, let's be honest.
I'm heading to the lovely Isle of Wight to meet a teenager who has mysteriously developed tics. She is one of a huge surge in cases who have developed symptoms that are very similar to traditional Tourette's.
Oh, tradition. We've now got traditional Tourette's and neo-Tourette's.
Emerging slowly in childhood, Tourette's has symptoms that include focal tics or uncontrollable body movements. But in these new cases, severe tics are appearing overnight and out of nowhere. I've come to meet one of the many people this has happened to, a teenager called Betsy.
Hello, are you alright? Yeah, I'm good, thank you.
She lives at home with her mum Rebecca, a local school teacher.
Make yourself at home.
And I always do, honestly, I do. I always do. Thank you for having me.
Really old mum, no father.
Liz.
It's alright.
How old are you, by the way?
I'm 16.
It was my 31st.
Bitch, you're old. Jeez.
There's that syndrome, there's that awful situation. There's, oh, look at it ruining lives.
I'm only 31, Betsy. Don't worry, I've got a thick skin. Nothing you can say can offend me.
I think my teachers have started to get a thick skin as well with the things I come up with.
Oh yeah, I mean, you know, you don't have to be mad to work here, but it helps, yeah.
The ticks aren't necessarily...
They're not me.
No, exactly.
Yeah, that's why.
There you go, no responsibility, no agency, and you get this with mental illnesses all the time. You know, temporary insanity gets people off of murder charges. Oh, it wasn't me. It's not me. It's my illness. It's my mental illness. She just said it. And I reckon we'll hear many people say that sort of thing. It's not me. It's not me. No, it is. It is you. Who the fuck else is it?
What we did is we named my tics. So it's like an alter ego sort of. So we've named it Frankie. And
I'm so interesting. I mean, I've got Frankie on the go as well. You know, I'm me and Frankie. We've named them. We really spend a lot of time talking about me. Yeah, look at Mum. Look at Mum. Look at the real victim of her daughter's behaviour is. Look, knackered, shattered, and not convinced. And I bet she's had psychiatrists tell her all this bullshit, and she's having to ignore her own better judgment because the doctors have told her, oh, it's in the DSM, it's got to be real.
they're sort of just like somebody else, and we just kind of go, oh dear Frankie, oh for God's sake Frankie.
Sometimes the things Frankie comes out with are just so off the wall.
She's got syphilis.
Awful situation. I mean, they're just laughing, they're cracking up. She said her mum's got syphilis. It's not Frankie. It's the response to this behaviour that is the actual problem. You know, it's this laughing at it, it's this pretending it's someone else. That's where the damage is done. That's where the separation of the mother and daughter relationship actually occurs. Pretending it's someone else and that this girl's got nothing to do with it. Really, really mind-blowing.
Sorry.
Ellie Whitlock has syphilis and she's dead.
Sorry, that's my friend.
Okay.
She would be absolutely fine with it. She knows it.
Betsy's tics appeared suddenly and out of nowhere when she was at school.
I was doing my mock exams in November 2020, and on a Thursday during third period, during a maths lesson, I started head jolting like that. I got really freaked out, didn't really know what to do, and then I started doing like a groaning, sort of like a like that. Mum came up and she was like, what's going on? And the school nurse was like,
And I said, I'm in a educational system that has absolutely crippled my natural curiosity, that's absolutely crippled my femininity, that's absolutely, I'm in a social situation that's crippled my ability to socialise. I am completely restricted and controlled and forced to comply at every level of my life, and I had to find a way out, and I did, and this is it.
I don't know.
But what's even more unusual is she wasn't the first in a class that it suddenly happened to.
I mean, you've got to love it. You've got to love it. Oh, I mean, that she must have caught it off her. Did you exchange body fluids? Did she touch you? Did she kiss you? Or did you see someone else getting loads of attention? Did you see someone else being special? Did you see someone else have an alter ego? Yeah, I'm not having any of this. I'm just not buying this at all. You know what this is? It's destroying families and it's selling drugs. Does that sound familiar? Destroying society and selling drugs. Does that sound familiar?
My friend Grace had like a small like twitch, and then they kind of got worse in like the summer.
Your friend did?
Yeah.
It's quite unusual having 2 people in a class and in a school to have tics. Because do you think, because that makes it almost sound as if it's, I know this sounds
Say
good, but yeah, contagious like a cold.
No, that wasn't what I wanted you to say. I wanted you to say it almost sounds like it's just a choice. But no, she went the most bizarre, she went so far away from reality. That almost sounds like it's contagious. I mean, God knows why I expected her to actually take a risk and say something that the evidence would suggest. Contagious.
Notice when people tick together, the tics get worse. So we kind of distance ourselves from each other because I kept setting her off and sending her into tick attacks. But then, yeah, so that was kind of like, from going from like really, really good friends and like talking every single day to nothing at all. It's just kind of weird.
When you've been to the doctors and things, have they...
The mother is so pissed with this whole thing. The mother's not convinced. Do you know why? Because the mother had a role in society. The mother knew what her role and function was in society. And she didn't live in this entitled world. She didn't need attention. She didn't grow up in a world where attention was everything. She got married and had a daughter. And she's not buying it. Look at that face. The resentment that this mother has got for essentially her lying daughter is palpable.
That it'll eventually go, or that it...
Nobody seems to know very much.
I had a tic attack a month into having my tics, and I ended up having to go to A&E.
It was quite frightening because it was so early on as well.
Yeah, and then they gave us an appointment with a paediatrician. They just like run blood work and stuff to see if it was anything abnormal. And I haven't heard anything since.
There's fuck all in my blood work. What a surprise.
What a welcome.
I thought I might just ask Betsy's wonderful cake making skills.
Oh, thank you.
Milk, sugar.
Miss Piggy, oink oink.
Incredible. I'll see if I can take it back. The look the daughter gave the mother there was shocking. Let's see if we can get that again.
Milk, sugar.
Miss Piggy, oink oink.
Fuck it, I missed it.
I feel like that's aimed at me because I'm eating cake.
No, it absolutely was. Of course it was. It's not arbitrary, is it? She didn't just say, frogs swim under tables. No, you're a fat girl and you're eating cake, and she said, Miss Piggy, oink oink. It's not arbitrary. These aren't just any old words. They never are with Tourette's. They're always situational. It's always about what's going on, always. What a ridiculous thing to say. Oh, I thought you said that about me. Oh, no. Frankie would never do that. No, that's exactly what she done. Why can't they see that? It's clear as day.
So are you and Grace the only ones in the whole school with tics?
I teach at least 2. Yeah, I mean, I only...
Mum's teacher as well. That, you know, there you go. That puts another... That's another part of the nexus that is the girl with Tourette's there. Mum's teacher. That causes issues with a child at school. No one wants their mum teacher at their school. Certainly not when you're going through puberty at that age. Fuck that. You don't want your mum anywhere near your friends.
know about those because I teach them and I wouldn't need to know that otherwise. So I'm sure there are quite a few others around the place.
Really?
They just seem to be all coming out the woodwork now.
I can't imagine.
They seem to be coming out the woodwork now. Who benefits? Key bono. And how are they treating this? I wonder if they'll get into that.
What you must feel like sometimes.
I was very sort of lost at the beginning. I just really didn't know what the hell was going on. But I suppose, as you say, it's just part of Betsy now. I think the other problem is it's so exhausting for you, isn't it?
Because I'm constantly moving and like shouting and...
No, you're not. No, you liar. No, you're not. You said about 4 things. You're not constantly moving and shouting. If I'd have seen this with the sound down and someone said to me, what did you make of that? What the one thing I wouldn't have said, I'd have said 2 young girls, 1 older woman eating cake and talking. Not one of them's constantly moving and shouting. It's ridiculous.
And swearing, it just wears you out, really. Because there's some days where I'm just like, I can't.
Where's your mother out?
I can't do this today. Like, I don't want a tick. And there's some days where you question it. You're just like, why can't I be normal?
It's extremely unusual to have so many people in one school develop tics. Conventional wisdom is that they can't be caught like a cold.
Interestingly, the same happens with trans, doesn't it? There's that school in Brighton where there's like 30 of them. Is that a mental illness? What's going on there? It's just so the transparency of evil.
But incredibly, transmission amongst friends isn't a new phenomena.
What a surprise. Do you know why? Because when you get groups of young people together, they copy each other's behaviour. They always have done.
We're learning about 3 new suspected cases in Leroy, and this news comes just days after 2 teens in Albany said that they were displaying similar symptoms.
In 2011, at a school in upstate New York, a number of pupils began to tic. And before long, they started to spread.
I had a couple people ask me if I was faking this. Hey, what I said to them is, give me one reason why I would want to fake this. Hey, because I...
For the attention, because then you're special and different, so that you'd get on television, so that you had some kind of value that you felt you didn't have before, so that your complete lack of self-esteem might get a little boost occasionally. There's a few reasons that come to mind.
I'm missing out on my life right now.
Like, that is petrifying.
Some experts believed it was an episode of mass
Not even the least bit scary.
hysteria, when a symptom like a cough or tic spreads through a population because of fear or anxiety.
It's bizarre, it's unexplainable. It really is scaring everybody and wondering what is going on in our community.
When you look at all the symptoms, there's something darker. There is something actually happening to their bodies.
That is bizarre.
No, there's not actually anything happening to their bodies. They're just choosing to behave in a different way to get things that humans and young people used to get in other ways that they're being denied in our current culture.
19 pupils developed tics at Leroy. 2 years later, they disappeared in all but one of them.
19. Fuck. You got big double chin and tonic, and then 2 years later, once you've got it would have kind of hit a critical mass, and then it's not interesting anymore. You're not special and different anymore. Now the special and different people, like, imagine the whole school got it except for 3 kids. Well, then the cameras, the focus will be on the 3 kids that haven't got it. And so when it lost its value, when it lost its purpose, when it lost its function, they fucked it off.
And even now, nobody is quite sure why it happened.
There's no one thinking about it. It's fucking obvious.
So could all of these new cases have been sparked by a similar episode of mass hysteria? I've had my own experience of mental health issues.
I'm sure you've had plenty. Now, there are many cases of mass hysteria, and these are things that are considered, people respond to the way other people behave. That's just basic. But I don't. It's not. You don't need to go down that route with this. It's just. This isn't a mental health epidemic. This isn't a crisis. This is people responding to their environment. This is people responding to their surroundings, and especially young people, and especially girls. Men and boys are also going through their things, and because, dare I say it, men and boys are different to women and girls, They found other ways of getting attention. They get ADHD. They've got attention deficit hyperactive disorder. No, they're just deficit of attention, like these girls. Yeah. And then it all cleared up when they had the cameras round and everyone was praying for them, and the press was at their door.
That have manifested as physical symptoms in the past.
It was my last year of primary school and I actually developed tics as well. I remember being in a science class and we were talking about lungs and how lungs work, and I remember feeling like this overwhelming feeling of like being totally aware of all of a sudden how my body works. And then when
who wrote the book, The Body of Organs? Antonin Artaud. Oh my God, she's the reincarnation of Artaud.
When I got home, I remember just all of a sudden developing these tics, these breathing tics, where I'd like sort of stutter with my breath.
There you go. So you understood a little bit more about your situation. It scared you because you didn't have all the information, or you had partial information, which is often terrifying for children. And so you started investigating it. You started telling people via symbols and signs that you've got a fear around your lungs, around breathing, around life. Breath is so essential to life. A lot of these mental illnesses have got like eczema, they're stress related, and asthma, skin and breathing. Your skin, psoriasis. These conditions come up when people are stressed, when things are going bad for them, and eczema. And your skin is what divides your insides from the outside, the interior of you from the id. And breathing is much the same. This is what keeps you alive. And when your science teacher starts talking about you've got these things inside your lungs, and you're like, she said primary school, she's like 10 years old, she might have got a bit of fear around that. I've had fear around that growing up. I had fear around when I realised I was a body of organs. And so what did she do? She didn't know, she was too young to understand it, so she communicated it symbolically.
I'd breathe really deeply, to the point where then I didn't even realise I was doing it. And then blinking all the time, like not feeling as if. It started because I felt like my eyes weren't moist enough, which sounds ridiculous now, but then it just grew and grew, and I'd just constantly blink, and then people at school would be like, what are you doing that?
And there you go, and people at school were like, people at school started giving me attention. Because humans need attention. Humans have needs. And if your needs aren't met, you start struggling in life. And when we live in a culture that is more and more controlling, and more about compliance, and less about family, and less about community, this is inevitable. This isn't a mystery. This is inevitable.
Breathing thing for, and so then I'd try and make a conscious effort not to do it, and then as soon as that school bell went, it was as if my body wasn't my own. It would just go into overdrive, and they would happen like constantly. And around the same time, my dad got diagnosed with cancer, and
what a surprise. Really? That would have happened before all this happened, by the way. She's getting the time muddled up, but almost certainly he got diagnosed with cancer. Then she heard a little bit in her science class, and then the fear, and then the fear of loss, and then the confusion, and then understanding that she's also going to die one day.
We didn't know if he was going to come home, and it was just so...
And she said her body became other when the school bell went. Oh, what, when you had to go home and face your dying father, the reality of your cancered up father.
Stressful. It was a bit of a scary time.
After 2 years, and with the help of a doctor, I learnt to manage my tics.
Like, I think when everything sort of calmed down and my dad came home from the hospital and it just went. Learning about...
Whoa, the mystery. How are we gonna unravel this bird's nest of questions? Come on.
How this new wave of cases could be contagious has got me worried.
I'll be honest, doing this documentary, I am a bit nervous about catching it again. I am worried.
Because she's seeing other young women getting attention. She's seeing other young women using the same behaviours she used in a time of fear, in a time of uncertainty, in a time of worry, and she's seeing it work for them. And so she's starting to think, it might be unconscious, it might be conscious, it doesn't actually matter. And she's sort of understanding, well, hang on a minute, that worked for me as well. When I thought my old man was going to die, that worked for me. And life never stops being scary. Life never stops you having needs. There's no plateaus. You're never going to get all your needs met. You're just going to keep having different needs. And that's why she's got that fear. I don't think I can watch much more of this because I'm just going to go around in circles because it's so basic and obvious. And again, it's to do with the moving away from the importance of family, from the importance of extended family, moving away from community, moving away from socialising, moving away from groups, and being an individual. And we're not individuals, we're social creatures. And this is children crying out to be in a group, to be part of a family, to be part of a community, and to be recognised and affirmed and understood in a culture that's making it increasingly difficult to get any of that. Well, fuck it. We're going to get some adverts or some nonsense. I think I made my point. I'll leave a link to that in the video description. Let me know what you think in the comments. Ta-ta! Hoita!
Let's do the next two.